Hello! Jiu Jitsu is a fascinating discipline in that, if you do not know it, 1 vs 1, there's a good chance you will lose to it. There's a reason why the Gracies established such a prominent name, renowned even today with their insight and understanding flocked to by fighters around the world. But when it comes to the grand stage, time and time again, it seems that Jiu Jitsu alone cannot contest a well-refined combination of simpler and efficient disciplines. Why is this? Matt Hughes vs Gracie was a good example here. Clearly Matt respected Renzo, but watch how he engages this grappling exchange. Renzo gets into underhooks to fight the double leg, but Matt wasn't looking for a takedown. He just wanted to reverse his position because he was backed against the cage. To create space, he went for the double, turned Renzo, then left the exchange. This is an example of a wrestler unafraid of a dedicated jiu-jitsu practitioner's grappling threat. Why? It's because he knows that if Renzo cannot take it to the ground, then get a good position on him, he cannot transition to a submission innately. Matt has forced this to be a stand-up fight where Renzo was less refined. Matt with low kicks destroyed the less conditioned fighter, but why was Renzo less conditioned? It's because jiu-jitsu takes a long time to get good at. Whereas disciplines like boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, they have techniques that require less time before they can become readily proficient, readily effective, dangerous. As Bruce Lee had said.
That's what Bruce Lee was preaching. In 1959, he said, a dude who's been wrestling and boxing for 1 year can beat a lifelong martial artist.
They have fewer techniques individually, which allows you to further refine those specific techniques. Don't get me wrong though, these disciplines still take a lifetime to master, but you have more time dedicated to refining simple, efficient techniques, and the requirement is that he has to take you down. The one who has spent more time defending takedowns will reduce the likelihood of getting caught by submission in the first place. That said, is Renzo going to score a double leg on Matt Hughes, who, grew up drilling and defending just that? Physically, they're just better at dictating where the fight will take place. Thus, if they choose not to play the game of grappling, they likely won't have to. So here, what about Gracie vs Cub Swanson? Here, is gonna land a hip throw without gear? Here he does using the wizard variation, but if he can't get Cub on his back, Cub just stands back up to his feet, and from there, refuses to engage the jiu-jitsu. Here, we see Gracie go for a double leg, but Cub sprawls out and puts his weight down, stuffing the attempt. Foiled, it looks as though Kron tried to pull guard from here. It was perhaps even a sweep attempt. From here, Cub, with his weight on the leg, he steps over the hook and is voluntarily enter guard, holding himself close, just waiting. Why is he doing this? Because he wants Kron to go for a submission. He doesn't want to take any risks until Kron goes for a submission. Why? When you go for a submission, if you don't get it, you are at risk of losing your position, and you can't just sit there because, in the judge's eyes, when you're on top, you're winning. Thus, Kron going for an arm-in guillotine from guard, it seemed as though Kron went for Renzo's variation by leaning in, thus getting a better angle for the choke. Getting the arm in hand to pull the choke hand as high as possible, but Cub adjusts by moving and rotating with the angle while standing up. By no means is Cub Swanson making this easy for Gracie. By waiting for the submission attempt, he was able to fight it, then leave the position. Now, this bout was amazing. Gracie showed a lot of heart, and even though he had a lot of trouble bringing Cub Swanson into his world, he just kept putting the pressure on. Nonetheless though, Kron looked significantly outmatched versus Cub Swanson. Cub could do a lot of things versus Gracie that he would not be allowed to do versus a more complete mixed martial artist. Similarly to Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar, Israel Adesanya, Conor McGregor, Cub Swanson chose to keep his hands down. Why? It was one of the reasons why Gracie had a lot of trouble securing a takedown. By leaving the hands lower, you have better balance for footwork. Your capacity for head movement increases, but also you can secure an underhook faster, thus start defending a takedown sooner. That's exactly what we saw here. Cub Swanson was finessing Gracie, touching him over and over with cleaner shots, and there was little Gracie could do to deal with this. His boxing wasn't as clean, and he didn't have head kicks or knees to punish the head movement. He did demonstrate a fantastic chin though. One of the things about Jiu Jitsu is the emphasis on break falling. the drilling and the rolling with break falling, it develops a very strong neck which helps absorb punishment. Plus, if you aren't taking as much head trauma when you spar, you just end up having a lot left in the bank account. You can't really condition your brain. One of the best ways to keep it strong is to not get hit a lot in the first place. Regardless of pure jiu-jitsu's plays versus a more complete system, mixed martial arts, it will always be an integral component to mixed martial arts as a whole. After all, if you don't know jiu-jitsu 1 vs 1, there's a good chance you'll lose to jiu-jitsu. Thank you, Gracie and Cub Swanson, for this lesson. If you like more from me, please subscribe to the notifications. Thank you if you did. It truly does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.